Have you ever met someone who carries the weight of the world on their shoulders? Someone who never stops, never rests, and is always pushing forward, no matter the cost. This is Big S. Her relentless drive to shield her loved ones didn't come out of nowhere. It was forged in the fires of a childhood that demanded she grow up too fast. But behind that seemingly inspirational strength lies another shady truth. This is the story. Born in 1976 in Taipei, Big S might have seemed destined for a life of luxury. Her father's family, who fled the Chinese mainland for Taiwan in 1949, built a glittering jewelry empire in the heart of the city. But behind the sparkling facade lay a family steeped in tradition and a dark preference for sons. Hailing from Shandong province of East China, a region infamous for its patriarchal values, Big S's family saw daughters as little more than burdens. The pressure to continue the male lineage was crushing. Enter Xu Jian, Big S's father, the long-awaited only son, born after 7 daughters. He was the golden child, but his privileged upbringing made him a reckless playboy. Xu Jian grew up surrounded by women, yet he harbored a twisted mix of fear and disdain for them. Yet this good-looking young man caught the eye of Huang Xunmei, a hard-working waitress at a tea house next to the family jewelry store. While struggling to make ends meet, Huang saw Xu as her ticket to a better life. But what began as a fairy tale quickly unraveled into a story of sacrifice and survival. After marrying into the Xu family, Huang quickly realized she had stepped into a world of suffocating traditions and unrelenting demands. She became the family's workhorse, cooking, cleaning, serving her mother-in-law, babysitting her sister-in-law's children, and even working unpaid in the family's silver shop. Her place at mealtimes? Never allowed to sit at the table. But the real blow came when she gave birth to 3 daughters in a row. A grave disappointment in the Xu family's male-dominated world. The family's disdain was palpable. Xu Jian, her husband, lost his authority over the silver shop, and he blamed Huang for his downfall. His resentment festered, and his treatment of her grew colder and crueler. At the same time, Xu Jian's drinking problem spiraled out of control, and with it came violence. Drunk and enraged, he would often lash out at Huang, leaving her bruised and broken. Big S and her sisters would lie awake, their childhood nights shattered by the sounds of their parents' screaming matches and their mother's muffled sobs. Big S once shared a haunting memory from her childhood. Her drunken father, in a fit of rage, flipped the dining table, sending scalding hot soup pouring onto her mother. The air filled with her mother's screams and her father's roars, a nightmare etched permanently into her young mind. While her sisters hid in the room, trembling in fear, Big S was the only one who dared to confront him. She stood her ground, shouting, "Stop that or I'll call the police right now." But Xu Jian's chaos didn't stop at violence. He was also a gambler and a womanizer, squandering the family's savings and racking up massive debts. In November 2008, while filming the movie Connected, Big S received a shocking call. Her father had been swindled in a gambling scheme, owing 8 million Taiwan dollars. To make matters worse, he and his mistress had been kidnapped by gangsters demanding a ransom. Panic, Big S sprang into action. She reached out to friends for help, then worked tirelessly with her mother and sister to scrape together the money. Juggling her hectic filming schedule and the weight of her father's crisis, she was pushed to her limits. But through sheer determination and family unity, they managed to rescue Xu Jian, though the scars of his recklessness would linger for years. Growing up in such a turbulent family, it would have been easy for Big S to crumble under the weight of it all. But instead, she emerged as a force of resilience and rebellion. From a young age, she shouldered the burden of supporting her family. By the 4th grade, she was already hustling, distributing flyers, taking on part-time jobs, and doing whatever grueling work she could find to make ends meet. After high school, defying her mother's objections, Big S plunged into the entertainment industry, alongside her younger sister, Small S. Together, they carved out a path in an unforgiving industry, starting from scratch. The big break came when they co-hosted 100% Entertainment, a show that captivated audiences with their striking looks and contrasting personalities. The duo became an overnight sensation in Taiwan, but it was Big S's iconic role as Shinsai and Meteor Garden that catapulted her to stardom, a triumph earned through relentless hard work and determination. Despite their success, their father, Xu Jian, remained a constant source of turmoil. Even as his daughters turned the family's fortunes around, he refused to change. He never lived with Huang Chunmei and their children, nor did he sign a divorce agreement. Time and again, he racked up debts, and time and again, the Hsu sisters paid them off. Even in his later years, they continued to provide for him despite his relentless selfishness and betrayal. Despite Big S's resilience and strength formed in the chaos of her upbringing, the scars of her past lingered. Some say that growing up under the long shadow of her father left her with a deep-sealed insecurity in relationships, shaping her choice of partners. Interestingly, many of the men she dated were often described as mama's boys, perhaps reflecting her subconscious search for stability or a reflection of the dynamics she grew up with. Vic Chow, her best friend turned boyfriend, once admitted, "I was scared just hearing the sound of Big S's high heels." Lan Chonglung, her first boyfriend in entertainment, also revealed that during their relationship, his life had to revolve entirely around her plans. And then there was her ex-boyfriend, Wang Xiaofei, a man with career ambitions but heavily reliant on his mother, Zhang Lan. Even in Big S's marriage to him, Zhang Lan's presence loomed large. Wang Xiaofei is like a big mummy's boy, erratic in his behaviors and full control of his emotions. In the aftermath of his divorce from Big S, he frequently fired shots online using harsh, unfiltered language and even going so far as to expose her private medical information, showing little regard for their shared history of the years they had spent together as partners. However, after Big S's passing, Wang Xiaofei's behavior became eerie. He flooded social media with emotionally charged posts, pouring out declarations like, "Wife, I miss you so much," and even lamenting, "I should have been the one who died." This formed a stark contrast against what he had done before. This pattern of irrational behavior was eerily reminiscent of Xu Zhan. When sober, Xu Zhan could appear gentle and loving, peeling shrimp for his daughters or kneeling to apologize to his wife. But under the influence of alcohol, he became a different person, violent and uncontrollable. Similarly, Wang Xiaofei was a devoted father and husband when calm, earning praise as a daughter-loving dad. Yet when his emotions flared, he would spiral into outbursts, revealing a side that mirrors the chaos Big S had spent her life trying to escape. With a father like Xu Zhan, anyone would have been justified in cutting ties with him entirely. But Big S chose the high road. In 2012, when Xu Zhan was diagnosed with liver cancer, the Hsu sisters set aside their busy careers to visit him in the hospital every single day. Small S once shared on a talk show, "I truly believe my father was a good person deep down. The moment he quit drinking, I forgave him." Big S too extended an olive branch, posting on Father's Day, "John, happy Father's Day. I admire your persistence in being true to yourself and your courage to seek freedom. I hope you stay healthy and happy. And maybe stop causing trouble for once." Despite the years of pain he had inflicted, they chose forgiveness and care. Before his death, they found a fragile reconciliation. At Xu Zhan's funeral, Big S stood amidst a whirlwind of conflicting emotions. Her memories of her father were not filled with love or warmth, but with the sting of his resentment that she hadn't been born a son. The images etched into her mind were not of the happy family or tender moments, but of his harsh curses and the violence he inflicted on her mother. Yet despite the pain, she once confessed, "I hated him, but I felt even sorrier for my mom." Now, none of that matters anymore. On February 3, while on vacation in Japan, Big S tragically passed away at the age of 48, succumbing to pneumonia triggered by influenza A. With her passing, the pains of her tumultuous childhood and the scars of her past have finally been laid to rest. For Big S, a woman who carried so much weight throughout her life, perhaps this is the peace she had long deserved, a chance to rest, free from the burdens that once defined her. Thank you for joining us in this episode of Chinese Star Buzz. Share your thoughts and let's discuss. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. Looking forward to seeing you in our next video.